What's going on, Reject Nation? We are going to talk about some Black Panther news, which, to be honest, still makes me a little bit uncomfortable. And I'm honest, I'm a little bit surprised that we're getting so much news about Black Panther Part 2. Maybe not surprising for some of you guys. For me, I thought we wouldn't really be hearing anything for quite a while longer, to be honest. But I have heard about this one, so I wanted to check out Cosmic Wonder's video. Black Panther 2 will have 2 new Black Panthers. Then we'll talk about it afterwards and see what the hell's going on.
How's it going, everybody? It's Warren. Welcome back to my channel, The Cosmic Wonder, where we talk all things Marvel and everything relating to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And today we have some really big news. We finally have some type of direction that Marvel Studios is going to go with Black Panther 2, including when they're going to start filming. And apparently the actor that is going to be playing the main villain of the film has been revealed. And then in a separate report, it looks like not only are we going to get one Black Panther in the film, but there are also going to be 2 new Black Panthers coming in Black Panther 2. I'll break down everything that you need to know. If you're new, be sure to subscribe to stay up to date on all the latest MCU news.
That's a sick ass Funko Pop, buddy.
Very sick Funko
by HeroesHideouts.com. I'll be announcing the winner next Friday. So I think a lot of us were expecting Black Panther 2 to be delayed a very long time due to the passing of Chadwick Boseman.
Of course.
But it seemingly appears that Marvel Studios does have their plans in order and at least have an idea of how they're going to move forward with the sequel. Now, Black Panther 2 was scheduled for May 6th of 2022, and although it might not be delayed years, this may not be the release date that it comes out. But there is the possibility that Marvel Studios could be sticking to this date, as today we have a report on when the film is going to start filming. Last night the internet kind of went crazy when The Hollywood Reporter reported this in an article. They said, multiple sources tell The Hollywood Reporter that Marvel is now readying Black Panther 2 for a shoot that will start in Atlanta in July and last for upwards of 6 months. So they're going to start filming, according to this report, in July of 2020. It's going to take 6 months, which will last until January, which would give them 4 months of post-production and editing before the May release date. Now, that is cutting it kind of close as far as a production schedule goes, but it can be done. However, if they decide to push the release date back a few months, that will kind of be expected.
Don't rush this one.
But the report goes on to say, Mexican actor Tenoch Huerta, who was one of the stars on Netflix's Narcos Mexico, is in talks to play one of the antagonists, sources tell The Hollywood Reporter. Now, as far as which villain he could be playing, that's kind of a shot in the dark at this point. But some could argue that he could indeed be playing Namor the Submariner. At this point, we don't really have enough information to tell, but they go on to report that Letitia Wright, Lupita Nyong'o, Winston Duke, and Angela Bassett are expected to return for the new film, with reports stating that Letitia Wright's character, Shuri, is going to take on a more prominent role. Now, I think at this point, everybody is expecting Shuri to become the new Black Panther.
Yes.
And this does happen in the comics, and there is a really good way to set this up in the movie. In the comics, Shuri and T'Challa both challenged their uncle for the title of Black Panther. T'Challa won, but he promised to train his sister in combat, so if a day should come when she needs to lead Wakanda, she could take his place. And it does seem like that day is going to come sometime during Black Panther 2. However, we also do have a report stating that
really early on in the movie.
Black Panthers. In a report from Grace Randolph, she said, still hearing Shuri will be Black Panther alongside a male Black Panther. Still betting it will be a new guy in the suit. I want M'Baku and T'Challa will get killed at the beginning of the film. I will say, if this ends up being true, it makes a lot of sense. Because a lot of people, a lot of young people specifically, do look up to T'Challa and Black Panther as a role model. And it would be a shame to take Black Panther away from all of those kids. But at the same time, having a male Black Panther and then adding a female Black Panther would be great, because then you would have role models for both boys and girls. So this seems like it would be a very good strategy for Marvel and Disney to do. Now, it has basically been confirmed by Marvel Studios Executive Vice President that T'Challa is actually already dead in the MCU. Now, whether we'll get much explanation for that in Black Panther 2 is to be determined, but I for one don't think that he should die on screen. But I do like the idea of having two Black Panthers in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, both having different roles, of course. But let me know what you think about this news. Black Panther 2 is going to start filming in July, which is a lot sooner than I think a lot of us thought it would start.
That is really surprising.
For an actor to play the villain, and there is a possibility that we could be getting two Black Panthers. So let me know what you think about all of this news in the comments down below. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the latest MCU news and Black Panther 2 news. For live updates, you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter. And as always, thank you all so much for watching. Woof woof.
This is weirdly a lot to wrap my head around. It really is a lot to wrap my head around.
Just the fact alone that they're going ahead so quickly by the sound of this is a lot to wrap your head around.
If I'm not mistaken, the original shoot date, obviously before Chadwick Boseman's passing, was supposed to be February of, I believe, 2021 is when they were supposed to start shooting. There's a whole bunch of logistics that go into all of this when it comes to shooting schedules. You got a whole team lined up, schedules blocked out for a vast crew and cast members of people. They have their Marvel slate schedule they gotta stick to, and yada yada yada. It's just that, you know, like my mind goes to the fact that Ryan Coogler spent a long time developing the Black Panther 2 screenplay, a very long time to nail down the story. And of course, with Chadwick Boseman passing, that instantly lands you in a case of, I need to completely change my story. He, along with the rest of the people involved, whoever was, you know, close with Chadwick Boseman or was really affected, they all had to take the time to grieve and then get back to working on what the story needs to be for a follow-up. To me, I'm like, have they had enough time to nail that? Or did they just have a direction? They're like, let's just keep developing the screenplay until July rolls around? You know, when they're talking about the shooting schedule and trying to land a release date, which I'm assuming will get pushed ultimately, if they're sticking to that release date, you only got 4 months of post. I'm like, whoa, guys, this is a movie you shouldn't be rushing here. You want to make sure you're able to take your time.
Yeah, exactly. You don't want to be in a position where you might have to rush. You don't want to be Cats, like finishing it 12 hours before you're screening it. Yeah, there's so many big moving parts and things that could go wrong. And yeah, I mean, especially I think just as human beings towards, you know, the epicenter of an event like the loss of somebody like that, who is like he's the title character. Like it does. I am taken aback that they would already have some kind of plan in motion. Not that the news didn't make everybody start to speculate anyway, which is natural. This feels like a fast track, which, yeah, is a little odd to me.
It is odd. Like, the idea of, okay, villain, cool, sure. That sounds neat. Looks like a Latino gentleman, you know. That's awesome. The idea of Shuri taking over the Black Panther mantle, I think that's what we all sort of expected. I'm kind of wondering if they'll even call this Black Panther 2, if they'll just call it something else entirely.
Black Panthers.
Maybe. And if there are two Black Panthers, I mean, I hope it works with the story context, and perhaps that might take some of the weight and the edge off of it, of someone having to deal with the situation of, I have to replace the shoes of Chadwick Boseman.
I have to carry this mantle all alone.
Yeah, so it does take some of the weight off of that. So in that regard, having two new Black Panthers, I think, would work. Really what I just care about is making sure they have an honorable, respectable sequel follow-up here after such a major passing. And yeah, I don't think you need to do some CGI double death when we're all aware of Chadwick Boseman already being gone, and doing like CGI Chadwick Boseman face would be a terrible idea. But I don't even like the idea of like someone in a costume or doing a voice impersonation of him. Like, leading with him already having passed T'Challa, you might as well just go that path, since like the world already knows it.
Or at most, if you've got like a life cast, you know, maybe do some kind of funeral sequence where you have his likeness that's literally his likeness, and then, you know, maybe leave it at that. Like, I feel like some on-screen tribute, you know, and transition would make sense, be necessary, and hopefully be tasteful and respectful. But yeah, I don't want them to like animate him and have somebody doing mocaps and stuff, just because, yeah, I don't know, especially if this is going to arrive so soon after Chadwick Boseman's passing, it's got to be that much more on the mark of respectability, you know?
I really think they ought to lead with something different, like let people know that that it is Black Panther 2 essentially, but maybe not call it Black Panther 2.
Yeah.
Like just give it a different name.
Give it a title that involves Wakanda or something like that. You know?
Yeah. Right now, it's my focus for any news on this is like, sure, if you get Namor in there, that sounds awesome.
Cool,
you get a villain in there, yeah, that's all cool right now. This is a unique position for Marvel to be in and for audience reception to be in. There's a lot more eyes that are going to be aware of other things beyond like who's the cool new villain or who's the cool new Black Panther. I think people will have this kind of discussion on their mind. I trust Marvel to handle this properly. If there's any studio whose hands this is the only studio right now where I'm like, well, it's in their hands, and I trust whatever they're gonna do. So hopefully, no matter what, they still honor his legacy, and I hope this doesn't become a rush project. By all means, delay it.
Seriously.
Delay it. Like, I don't care. I don't think any of us would really mind. Let's just, we just want a good film and one that honors a certain man's legacy. All right, guys, what do you think about this idea of there being 2 new Black Panthers? Is the shooting schedule kind of concern you? Leave your thoughts down below. You can subscribe to The Real Rejects and make sure to click that notification bell. Catch you guys soon.